Hi guys, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have a Divine Masculine Twin Flame read for you. I have also put out all 12 signs, which I'll do after the Divine Masculine read. And I will probably do clarifiers too if I have time. And I'm going to get right into it since it is this Lion's Gate. Some very cool information came through today in the read. Yeah, a lot of weird stuff. So I'm going to get right into it because some of it we have to piece together. So anything that resonates for you, you know, comment in the comments below. Anything you need from me as far as sessions or any kind of card read you'd like, just let me know. My email and my website are both below. And my CD, of course, Ashes, Twin Towers to Twin Flames on iTunes, CD Baby, Google, and Amazon. So today, Lion's Gate, August 8th, 2019. It's all about the 8 and the 8, the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine standing side by side, integrated at 0 point within their Divine Masculine and Feminine and balanced. The gate opening for the Divine Masculine. This is definitely a graduation point that we haven't experienced yet in the past 4 years anyway, since I've been on the journey. And the energy of the 8, of course, is the Strength card, which has to do with strength, inner and outer strength, manifesting in the higher realms, your dreams, but it also has to do with ego. Okay, so both sides of the coin. The day adds up today to the 28, which is the 2 of Wands, the Twin Flames. In the Sirian Star Seed deck, literally, the 2 flames. So we have the two of Wands and the Strength card. So literally dealing with ego today on Lion's Gate, the gate of strength. Being the lion, which is the king of the jungle, you know, it's a lot of responsibility to have that much power, right? So let's see here. It was very hazy this morning when I went outside, and I felt hazy. I felt like kind of hungover, even though I had no reason to feel hungover. I'm a little bit tired when I woke up this morning, and the trash guys came to pick up this morning, but it was very calm. Like, you know, usually it feels kind of intrusive because the heavy trucks come by and they're noisy, but I didn't feel that this morning. They were going north, and it felt more calm, you know, that the men were more calm, you know, there was no aggression there. The read was done, it was complete at 9:14, which is the Hermit and the Temperance card, and 14 to 15, which is the Temperance card and the Devil, so the Angel and the Devil. And then the major arcana for the masculine today were the Tower, Karma, which is like the Judgment card, and after the read was Alchemy and Strength, which is the Temperance card and the Strength card, very much about today. So the court cards were the Page of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. Before the read was the Queen of Cups. After the read, the Nine of, the Page of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Knight of Wands were all in the main read. But the Nine of Pentacles was also there, which isn't typically a court card, but it can be a person. Before the read was the Queen of Cups. I'm definitely feeling stress as I was going through this read. Definite stress at different points though. Like, wasn't the whole read, but I would get to certain cards and feel more stressed than others. And I'm still getting stressed now. I was just, I went with my daughter to visit my mother in the Alzheimer's facility. So, and it was fine. I met my sister up there, and no issues there, but definitely still feeling that stress in the air, right? Definitely for the Divine Masculines. The message here, oh, by the way, there's 1 cup, 5 pentacles, 2 swords, and 1 wand. So very heavy weighted on the pentacles side, which has to do with not only money, but practical things in life. Okay, so practicalities are very much a focus this morning when I did the read at 9:14 for the masculine. The numbers and the coding were all about communication, financial discipline, and healing. And 3 10s came up again. So, you know, last week, I guess it was, we got 4 10s, and now we have 3 10s again. The numbers 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 came up, as well as 1, 2 of the 12. So 12 in that sequence, and then just the 3 10s. And 15, 21. So that's the Devil energy and the World energy. So the completion of codependencies and addictions. So that could be a very good sign as well. The message here, before I even was able to get any messages out of the code line today, which by the way, the numbers were see. 7, 7, 10, and 9. So 26 altogether. Yeah, 1926, which is the Page of Wands, the masked boy with the burning desire. Also, 16 could be coming up with the Tower a bit too, but I'm getting more now the aftermath of the Tower as opposed to the Tower upright. So before I got to the meaning of the code line, they were guiding me to some other information. So the acronym ADEI came up. And so the first thing I saw was ADEI, AD, which means for always. So it's the Israeli outpost in the West Bank near the Shrut Rushel. I guess there's about 40 families that live there, but that was coming up as the name of that area. But for always, which was really cool that came up. It's also a baby girl's name, Germanic and Hebrew, like Adi or Addy. It's coming up more as the long A sound, but also English and Greek, Adi, and then also comes up as the Association for Italian Jewish Women. Association of Don Ebri d'Italian, or d'Italia. Okay, so the Jewish Women's Archive, 1927, and that's in Milan, Italy, which it said was the home to the second largest Jewish community in the country for Italy, which, you don't normally hear about Jews in Italy because it's a Catholic state. And it was very much coming up about Jewish things today. So the baby name stuff came from babynamepedia.com. And then it went on for ADEI. And mostly when I first saw that acronym, I was getting Adonai Eloheinu. Okay, so that was really what the Jewish prayer was coming up for me first. But it was also considered a masculine name in Basque, also Japanese, not common for boys. And this is from babynology.com. But this was very interesting because after the Jewish stuff is coming up, Ethiopia comes up. And there was a connection the other day between Ethiopia and the Jews that came up in my stuff. I don't know if something I reported or not, but it definitely came up prior to now. But that word in Ethiopia means wild flower that only blooms in September. September is the month of the new year. So the symbol of that, and it's female, Ade, okay? And it was also saying that the name is for the way showers, and it's considered Aries energy, and other Aries names that came up along with it were just EE and I, so interesting names. There were some others, but I don't want to get too much into that. But the Kritika Nakshrata, okay, so this site, babynology.com, gives you all the different sections. So this was kind of cool because from there, ADEI was coming up as the old name of Pleiades, nurses of the Kartikeya. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to pronounce these things right, but it wasn't Kritaka, it was Kartikeya, son of Shiva. Okay, so that was coming up for ADEI. And in Vedic, the symbol 7 was coming up, the spear or the knife, the god of fire. And in the Western zodiac, Taurus was identified with that name. So then I put in my name to see what was coming up in the Vedic Astro for that website. Again, babynology.com. And what was coming up here? Abba, Taurus moon. So Evelyn came up as a Taurus moon, Earth, and ruled by Venus, which is interesting. So a lot of bull stuff. Bull came up with Taurus energy, which is interesting because in my Western astrology chart, I don't have any Taurus. So it's coming up as my name being Taurus, and it means a couple different things. Traditionally, a living being, because it's based on Eve, right, the first woman. So it's like, giver of life has also been a definition of Evelyn. And in Nakshatra, the Vedic, Kritika Nakshatra, Pleiades, again, came up the knife and spear, god of fire. So the same as the other name. So it was interesting how it was paralleling my name to ADEI. And also Evelyn means Hawa in Hebrew, Hawah, which is that a living being. And in the Indian zodiac, it said Mesha, 10 degrees, and Western zodiac was Taurus, 6 degrees, and then it was Gemini. And it means, it was from the English surname from Aveline, from Norman French Germanic Avelina, which also came from Avila, which meant desired, which is interesting because I kept saying streetcar names named Desire, and Desiree kept coming up. So this is coming up again, attached to my name, which was so weird because you'd never think of Desiree from Evelyn. And it was very much, Evelyn was very much a boy's name back in the 17th century, but then it was more popular for girls after that, with associated with Evelina. But again, the formal blessings from the Jewish traditions were coming up around Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. So blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe. And then it brought up, and this is all part of the coding still, and how I was associating the coding with the Jewish religion because my family was Jewish, but we weren't religious. And I grew up next to a rabbi. So Rabbi Landis, who's passed since then, but I, when I was little, until I was 8 years old, I lived there, and I was best friends with my next door neighbor, his son, Joshua. So there's Joshua. And not only that, but the rabbi's wife, her father wrote a book about my great-grandfather, and it just happened that we ended up being next-door neighbors. So for some reason, he came up, and he is a rabbi, and it made me think of his son Joshua, because I haven't seen him since we were little, and used to play in his treehouse together. And his father was so sweet to me and let me help with the sukkah and put the lanterns up and things like that, which I didn't do at my house because we didn't celebrate any of the holidays. So, my next door neighbors were coming up for me, so I ended up kind of looking up the kids to see where they are, and ended up that Josh, I was trying to see a picture of Josh to see what he looked like these days. I don't know if I actually found a clear one. I saw one that wasn't very clear. But the code line was coming up around toggling up, and it was showing a parallel to not Josh, but my next door neighbors, the rabbi and his wife, were coming up as S and A. That's the first initial of both of their names. And by the way, the rabbi's first name was Aaron, which is my grandfather's name. He wasn't my biological grandfather, which I didn't know until 10 years ago. So Aaron was coming up again here, and then her name as well. And again, we were getting stressed energy there. And the energy was also associating itself with the new moon, and then showing me the divine feminine within the masculine, also the new moon. And it was associating all of this with the Pleiadians and saying not Jesus. So it was very cool that this was coming up, because I'm also getting the Jews being associated with Ethiopia. So this will tie in again in the read. So it was associating and it's interesting because my next door neighbors were very tall, both the rabbi and his wife. So they were being associated with being Pleiadians, as well as the divine masculine and feminines. And I kept getting TE as well in two places in the coding. The Page of Pentacles came up as the student. So, in the Jewish religions, it's very much about education. The high vibration of the hermit or the student was coming up around Judaism today. And the wise ADEI, for always, toggling up and using music to do so as well. And Adele was coming up here as well. So using beautiful music to help raise your vibration, but also the Jewish religion and how they are spiritual as opposed to Christianity or other religions. So the new moons were coming up as well as the half moons. I told you this before, that, and today is the half moon on 8/8. We're halfway between the new moon and the full moon, which is the most balanced state, because the full moon, is too much energy, and the new moon is no reflection from the sun, right? So even though the new moon, there's less manipulation of your energy because you know how the full moon is. It's very manipulative. That the halfway point is like being at 0 point, so it's a good time to do things without interference. So that was coming up again too as well. I was getting that there's very little human within the twins. They're very much starseed energy. Pleiadians was coming up specifically, and the tallness of them, as my neighbors were, that was coming in here. And the number 7 was coming up, of the chariot, which can very much be associated with ascension of the Pleiades. Toggling up to the etheric realms. The wise one, the hermits, the students, the wise wild flower that only blooms in September, which in the Jewish religion is the new year. But you realize it's also the new school year, which parallels to the Jewish religion because it's very much about education. Toggling up at the new year, Rosh Hashanah, which is one of 4 new years, the days of awe, 10 days before Yom Kippur. So the new year, which my birthday is also in September, and my birthday is September 18th, and someone told me once that was considered the first day of the world. I don't know. I know that Rosh Hashanah is considered the beginning of time, so September is definitely what Jews considered to be the beginning of the world. But I was told specifically that my birthday was at one point. I don't know if that's true. I just was told that at one point. So September's coming up as the beginning of the school year, is the beginning of the year in the Jewish religion. And also considered September is the 7th month in the Hebrew calendar. So here we have 7 again. And I started doing this, it was 10:01. So again, the Wheel of Fortune and the Magician. So we have the 7th month on the Hebrew calendar, which is September, which is the 9th month in our calendar. That September was considered the date when the world was created. And, in the Jewish religion, they always give gifts of $118 because that is considered that, that very spiritual date, the number 18. So, and the Jewish holidays all start at sundown, and sundowning has been coming up all week. As far as Alzheimer's patients, they experience sundowning, but as twins we also experience sundowning because our mental capacity is being dulled in order to increase our knowing capacity, our psychic capacity. Okay, so this year 19 to 20 is considered the Hebrew year 5780. But I looked back to my birthday, which was 5722, the year that I was born, 61, and just the major holidays were coming up for the Jewish religion. And I guess it's coming up now because next month is September. So Yom Kippur is this year, October 9th, 2019, after Rosh Hashanah starts September 30th, 2019 through October. It starts sundown of 9:30 to October 1st, 2019. So that's Rosh Hashanah through Yom Kippur of October 9th, 2019, which is Atonement. And then Sukkah goes into October 14th through the 20th, the Feast of the Tabernacles. And so I don't need to go through all of the Jewish holidays, but I did want to bring up the September holidays coming up here for a reason, being that's the 7th month of the Hebrew calendar as well, and considered the beginning of time. So, let's see if I just want to make sure there's no other. The Tish B'Av is July 30th, 2020, which would have just passed this year. 9 of AV fast. It's a fast in honor of the destruction of the 2 temples. Okay, so the 2 temples is paralleling with the Twin Towers in 2001 as well as the Twin Flames. So that was calling me to bring it up, okay? Also Yom Ha'aliyah was 11/5/19, immigration to the Jewish state of Israel, which is a more minor holiday, but it's a modern holiday. The other ones I told you were more of the traditional holidays, the major ones. So the immigration of the Jewish state of Israel, 11/5/19, is the celebration for that day, but that is very connected to me. Which is funny, is Ha'aliyah, which Ha just came up from Ariana, hi. But Aliyah is one of my daughter's closest friends. So it was interesting that came up along with the date of the Jewish state of Israel, because my father's father, who wasn't my biological grandfather, but he was my grandfather, was instrumental in helping Israel become a state. He was very politically connected that way. And then another one on 11/27/19, SIGD, is the Ethiopian Jewish holiday, 50 days after Yom Kippur. All right, so now we're tying Ethiopia to the Jews again, okay? And then there's another one, the Fast of Esther, and Esther's my middle name. And that was also March 9th, 2020, which was the due date for my daughter when she was born, because she was born on Pi Day, March 14th. But her due date was 3/9, which is the Fast of Esther, which is my middle name and my grandmother's name, my father's mother. So enough about that history, but I just wanted to tie all this, show you how they were all tying in together. They used me as an instrument to bring the message through to you guys and the point they're trying to get across. So we get into the read. The Seven of Cups is that first card there. The other cards here, this is the Ten of Flames, and then we have the Sage of Chalices, which is the Queen of Cups, and then there's another 10 card here, which was the Ten of Pentacles, or crystals, in this deck, the Syrian Starseed deck, and then the Seven of Cups is there on top. So I always like to point them out because you can't see those cards. So we start the read out with the Seven of Cups, the Stairway to Heaven, the last 2.5 cups, or steps up, the 2.5 out of 7, or seventh heaven. The Queen of Wands, I was being shown here, cannot ascend past 4.5 out of 7, so the 4D basically. The Queen of Cups is released to get over loss. Okay, so it's like it's like showing me that the Queen of Cups, or excuse me, the Queen of Wands, which can also be considered, it's 24 of the Omega and also the third energy it's come up as. That third energy that needs to be there to trigger you to your expansion, which is thus the third party situation. So the Queen of Wands cannot ascend past 4.5 out of 7. So it's basically when the Queen of Wands or the karmic can no longer ascend, that is when the Queen of Cups or the Divine Feminine becomes released to get over her loss and grief. And then the Ten of Flames upright, which is the Atlas energy or the weight of the world upon your shoulders, the Queen of Cups burden. The Ten of Pentacles upright also comes up, the family can only ascend past this gate. So the family of the Pleiadians, or the twins, which has been brought up here so far, they're tying into this, that it's the starseed or the twin family that can ascend past this point. At this moment anyway, okay? So the 5D, or the Divine Masculine reborn, we are in the Lion's Gate. 8/8 is the Lion's Gate, and we've been in other gates opening right now anyway. It's a very big energy right now. But I was getting the Divine Masculine being reborn, or quote-unquote baptized. The burning bush, to ascend to the light. To the Emperor, and you notice how they bring up the burning bush here, with the Jewish religion being brought up as well to parallel some of these things. To the Emperor, the Queen of Pentacles reversed, coming up as the Scrooge Four of Pentacles, of holding on too tightly, cannot go at this point. Only the Queen of Pentacles upright, who knows her worth. So those afraid to walk the path, or who don't show emotions in fear of their own emotions, or they're dry in fear of facing their emotions, clinging to the traditional stability and set in their ways, or in fear, cannot ascend past the 4 gold coins. If basing your worth, whether you're karmic or divine feminine, on a father's legacy, not wanting to embarrass your parents, and so withholding your own joy, the divine feminine rises above even what a father may have achieved, due to the 4D limit until now. Now the divine feminine rises above all limitations of fear, being practical and wise, but also expansive in joy. There are no limits to your worth at this point. And that was at 1056. 10 is the Wheel of Fortune, 56 is the Two of Swords, or being in your knowing. So this is just showing the divine feminine to be strong and know your worth. That even the, for those feminines and even masculines as well, who lived in the shadow of a parent who did very well for themselves because they were in their knowing and they lived free. For you to understand now, your abilities are so much beyond even that, even if it was very profound. It's trying to show you that you are the way showers, okay? And that September is that new year. All right, so we turn the page, it's 1057. There are no limits to know your worth, masculines and feminines. The 1057 of the Wheel of Fortune and the Three of Swords in the three-party situation, but it's also about the rain and love rain on me. That sometimes the thorn needs to be there for the pearl to grow in the clam or the oyster, okay? It's a necessary evil, as you would call it. Let go of the energies that do not serve you. The feminine above the patriarchy shines now, okay? And this isn't just the females, it's the masculines and the feminines rising in their feminine in order to shine above all other power. Any men who cling to the old ways, blocking the divine feminine energy within others but also within themselves, will not ascend. The King of Wands is out looking at wealthy family or even wealthy institutions, discovering their worth. Why has it been wrong for me to have money? So some may have limited themselves on purpose because their family taught them it was wrong to have wealth, abundance. The Queen of Swords speaks about the limitations of the Queen of Pentacles reversed, who cannot ascend past the 4D at the moment. The cotton comes up, the fabric of our lives, the etheric grids, like pulling a piece of cotton apart and stretching it far and wide. The stress of the grid, the stress of the earth grid, the perpetrator-victim mentality of the Holocaust and slavery, but that affect every human and every family. You can choose to be the victim, the small, the worthless, the powerless, and allow others to trespass against you. Or you can rise into your own power of love and knowing who you are in each moment. Sew the pieces of your life's quilt together. Don't allow big companies, big bodies like governmental bodies, families, limit your potential, your worthiness to shine and speak your truth. Don't be afraid to rock the boat. Don't live in fear. Do live in love. Your legacy. So they were paralleling this for me so you'd understand. I was literally being shown in the cards my grandmother and how she fought to survive, right? Because she came out of, this was before the Holocaust. The Jews were being starved all over the world. They weren't being given jobs, and they were starving to death because of lack of work that was being offered to them. But my grandmother came from Poland to France, and she made her way. And I always wondered, did she have to sleep her way to get to safety, to Europe? And actually, I found out later that she had told my mother that she was so proud of herself because, even through all of the torment and the difficulties that she had to get through, that she never sold her body to save herself. So my grandmother broke all of these boundaries. I mean, she was a seamstress in Paris. She used to dress models when my dad was growing up. And so she totally changed her life. Then they went through the war and all that kind of thing. But it was showing my grandmother and then my father, who also transcended because he did very well in his field of work as well. And he was an inventor. And then they were showing the divine feminine even above that. So it's showing you there is no limit, there is no boundaries. Your legacy as the divine feminine is to rise above all. And that's the feminine within the feminine, but also the masculine. So my grandmother mastered survival, and my dad mastered the higher level, the 3D dreams, right? So I always tell you that 4 is like the mastering of living in the 3D, survival, but 8 is the mastering of manifestation of dreams, not just surviving, but surviving your dreams, being happy. So it was showing me this parallel. And now it's our turn to master 5D heaven on earth. The Jews and the Ethiopians, or, the black slaves and the Jews, as a collective who have been through massive dark night, have risen to great heights, because when you hit bottom, you lose fear and can only then rise. Once you have been dead, quote unquote, you no longer fear to tread. No fear of risk when there's no fear of death. Let go, and Spirit's connecting with me, let go of control issues, and beneath that was pay attention to the red flags. So pay attention to your guidance, okay, and your synchronicities, and then let go of control. Feeling desperate, feeling locked into a dungeon of despair, rejection, abandonment, prison, control, ego, big palms and big feet, addictions, alcohol, depression, savior, and walking a fine line on the edge, all a death wish. Once you know the facts, once new information does come in, follow your heart first, but don't discount what you've already learned. Rather, discern, as opposed to getting burned. You still live as a human being here. Take care of your temple. Weakness, lack of courage, strength, and imbalance is lack of love, nothing else. The fool walks tall, very tall by the way, as the Palladians come up, and takes that leap of faith, knowing there is no risk involved when you allow the path of love and patience. Remember that fine line in relating that terminology, that doctors save patients, all right? So how does that work in the perpetrator-victim mentality? Doctors save patients, which are then victims, as opposed to us learning from each other. Everyone has something to contribute. We can all learn to heal ourselves. Doctors and all professionals teach what they've worked very hard to learn, but patients can also teach you, the professionals, what they feel and what hurts and how things were healed by means that you may not even understand. Respect those who have dedicated their lives to knowing more, but also respect your higher self even more. Each journey is your own, some hard for others to understand. Go within. For example, Munchausen's. Why would someone hurt their own child? Someone who has never felt unconditional love. Starved literally for attention, but they don't want to die, otherwise they'd kill themselves. They know their worth, but they don't understand why they know their worth. A piece of the quilt of God, the collective consciousness, the Christ consciousness, source creator, that wants to know more and thus expand past these limitations. We cannot get past things until we bring them up to deal with them. And that goes for within and without. But whether we bring up from our subconscious to our consciousness to release, or as a collective openly to address in the 3D or 4D, the only way to solve either is not protest or anger or violence, but rather loving attention. If someone is sad, show compassion, but do not fix their situation. Rather teach them to heal themselves. Offer a token, a stepping stone, so they can take the next step on their own. Don't coddle or enable, but support and hold space. Don't muzzle or force. Allow them to rise by the heart and fall from grace. Of course, as humans, we react in emergencies to rescue and save, but these are all lessons meant to play out. Did you save someone who chose not to be saved and take away their free will? Of course you have, because will is ego and love is not. The Spirit's connecting with me. Love knows no boundaries. It just is. Just expand and never judge the path required to get there. It is what it is, and you are no longer there. Each moment a new person. The present, a gift. Environment came up for the masculine at 11:43, and I turned the page. Basically, it was 11:26. 11 is the Justice, and 26 again is the Page of Wands. So in environment, we have 11:43, 43 being the Three of Cups, right? That should be joy and celebration. Underneath environment was happy ending, which is 93, the reflection of 39, which is the Knight of Cups. Happy ending, and then a green environment. Drained, sick, not enough sun, overexposure. The Page of Swords, or the number 54, which has come up for me several times between yesterday and today. The Page of Swords, the prodigal son, with 3 red-orange feathers in his cap, all the right dress, royal lineage and good posture, but look at his face. There is sadness in his eyes, distance, sneakiness, the mask of inspiration, but actually dead inside, teal color of illness all around, a darkened form of blue and green, illness with brown. News, message, or a child with something to say, but doesn't. They feel weak. They feel like they're falling short at the last minute. Stunted growth due to physical or mental, but also emotional and spiritual illnesses. All right, so we can't just address the physical body. We have to address the spiritual and emotional illnesses in the etheric bodies, the chakra system. 1150 is Justice and 10 of Cups. Complete emotional fulfillment for this. And this is why it's so important to stay in balance in all areas of your life and body and your etheric realm in order to stay at 0 point, stay balanced. Unstable, as we turn the page, instability or homelessness and unable to follow through or complete things with intention to move passionately and quickly, or intention to move homes, but not enough energy. Well, why is that? Well, if you have a lack of energy, because there's a lack of love. And here we have not only the perpetrator-victim template here, but it's coming up with the Strength card. Strength versus weakness, courageous versus coward. Fear drains, love energizes. Love is strong and courageous. Fear is weak and cowardice. Leo, ego, child may be out of control. To release one from their own ego. Moving to heaven? No. Letting go of attachments of attachments of emotional nature. Attachment to how things look to others. Mother Nature is wild and unformed, and yet naturally creates such beauty and patterns that are breathtaking form. Be open to what beauty really is. Allow life to happen naturally. Okay, nature is so much more powerful than each of us as a single person to create that beauty for us. Allow it to happen. Moving home, but clinging to things. Trying to save money or stuff things only ungrounds you or puts you in more lack, worrying about lack and not having. Have faith. Free yourself to leap to a greener environment. Number 44 comes up. Mastering, grounding, and integrating. Atlas energy. Okay, so again, that the weight of the world upon your shoulders doesn't have to be literal or 3D weight. It can be you connected to your Christ consciousness through your higher self. Okay, which brings much lightness to your load, and that you can also bring to others. So before I go into recently, I'm going to show you around the board. I didn't list all of the signs and court cards today. Sorry about that. But we have underlying energy there of the 7 of Cups in this deck, the Syrian Starseed. It's like the stairway to heaven with 7 cups. The recent past is the Tower, which was reversed energy today, and then the 10 of Swords there. Okay. We have the Strength card reversed under there that you can't see, and the Devil and the King of Pentacles, which can just represent a Capricorn, King of Pentacles. All right, but then we have the center of the read, which is the 2 of Orbs or 2 of Swords, and then the challenge being the Seeker of Crystals, which is like the Page of Pentacles, and then we have crowning here with the other underlying energy, the 8 of Crystals or the 8 of Pentacles, so working to align, bridging over here to the near future, which is the Queen of Pentacles, and she's coming up reversed in this read, but I was getting a little bit of reversed and upright parallel for the Queen of Pentacles today. The masculine sees himself as the 9 of Pentacles, which can be his sovereignty, his independence, or also feeling the energy of his divine feminine. It could be the karmic as well, or a child. But this was more today about himself and his own independence, okay? So the romance angel cards are right there, and then around the masculine, how he's seen, is the karma card. And you can't really see it, but it's coming up through the lotus flower. And then we have the Knight of Wands here as the blocks that he needs to clear. Then we come up to the Ace of Pentacles, or the Ace of Crystals in this deck, which was upright today as the ending card with the numerology cards there. And then after that was the Temperance card, the Strength card, and the Six of Wands at the top there, which is the Six of Flames there. The Temperance card was reversed today. The Strength card was reversed today. However, the Journeyman, the Six of Wands, was upright. And then we finished there on the Sun. Okay. The side note cards down here, that was it. And I'll show you the other 12 signs when we get there. All right, so we have the rest of the read to do. So recently, with the Tower reversed in the aftermath, still feeling stressed as I was doing that card, of near death, clinging to life, the wounded warrior refusing to give up their life, to overindulgences, gossip, antisocial behaviors, and having no joy in their life. The near-death experience helps you find gratitude in each moment, to find your heart as your home, your connection to the higher self, the collective consciousness. The foundation being that the worst is over. The King of Pentacles, Capricorn waves, still feeling weak, possibly, and needing courage, but that's just love. In ego death, or Leo's death, so someone may have lost somebody in their life, and I'm sorry if that happens to be you, but this is coming up as part of the transition. I was getting a massage coming up as opposed to a message, right? So the worst is over with the King of Pentacles, Capricorn, as he waves, and it can be in waves, his waves of awakening. Still feeling weak, needing courage or love in the ego or Leo death, with a massage as opposed to a message, perhaps. So you notice the difference between message, which is mess and age, and then mass and age. Okay, so one is a mess and one is a mass, which is very spiritual. The age of the mess or the age of the mass. So massage, I think I would choose. In knowing, standing up to stress, anxiety, duress, deception, and looking back or going back to the past, the loyal servant, the workhorse, the dark horse, the underdog, the sheep, the meek, become the emperor. The challenge being the student, the opportunity, the invitation, the child eager to please and to know, discovering not only knowledge, but inner knowing, intuition, psychic abilities. The Empress coming up here, which can be the divine feminine, but doesn't have to be. And I'm still getting stressful energy there for the masculine. The Empress connects to the 5D, to meditate, rest, be in quiet time. Lies split for the divine masculine in cutting through all the BS in his life. The Excalibur pulled from the stone, aligned but falling short, or feeling like he is, overworking, holding back passions, or playing others, or rushing in with good intention, but then dropping of exhaustion, all due to fears. The Knight of Pentacles, the Emperor, letting go of attachments to find peace, and then the Magician reversed, right? Our insecurities and manipulation after the battle, competition, expansion energies, looking or going back after a deception where the worst is now over, of stress and suffering, and coming clean, about shame and guilt. But now, crowning, there could be workaholic energies coming up here, destined to carry the burden of that weight of the world upon your shoulders and be inspired. But again, this 10 of Wands is turning into a very light load, destined to joy and coming together, dumping attachments to achieve passion and inspiration from letting go. The bliss of the swords falling out of your back. The bleeding cure. You know how they used to bleed people to cure them? The bleeding cure is allowing the swords to fall out of your back, the bliss. This was at 12:14. 12 is the hangman and 14 is the angels. The temperance card, the patience. The patience of hanging out and being in limbo, right? Madame Curie comes up. And then where I used to work at Penn, Curie Boulevard is down there. Inspired to move, the masculine, with being called to action. Announcements and judgments are in. As the King of Cups reversed, maybe just emotionally detached, dropping the facade and breaking patterns, may also have alcohol issues if the King of Cups is reversed. But the Queen of Wands, the double X, sweetly judges the divine masculine, rejected, and reaping rewards of a pile of money from the Emperor. The wounded warrior free to fling self out into the rain, love rain on me, and hold on loosely, not being the Scrooge. The wounded warrior is not giving up, but actually surrendering, now that the worst is over, to his own insecurities, yet independent or in their power, without fighting, without competing, finding happiness alone and abundance in knowing about the past in the aftermath of jealousy of the karmic retribution. Soon is the Queen of Pentacles reversed, lover or affection to end of a family. The Knight of Pentacles offers to come out, but up to a higher level with their twin and speak their truth, giving the karmic what she wants, the masculine, and making family happy, and thus ending that cycle, finally. The Divine Masculine is connected to his own happiness, coming clean to being the student of energy, the gold coin, the collective consciousness, with an opportunity to learn and open invitations, boundless, infinite. The Divine Masculine in his power within the Divine Feminine. Passion comes up, as well as give your relationship a chance, attraction, and soulmate, all for the Divine Masculine. Yes, this is your soulmate. Around the Divine Masculine, or how he's seen, is Karma, the lotus opening, his crown fully open, the High Priestess boldly ascending and taking the lead. The King of Swords reversed, dealing with the end of battle wounds, so the cleanup in the aftermath of settling out with the karmic or any karmic's family, whatever his situation is. There's only a leap between the masculine and the feminine here. The Knight of Wands comes up here, needing to clear blocks of the Knight of Wands. But he's reversed energy today, so running, having intentions to run in passionately, but then falling short exhausted, or being a player, trying to be, going back to your old ways of trying to manipulate people, or, manipulate women into passion, or just holding back your passions, right? Holding back your third energy to learn to use it for your creative energy, but that exhausting you because you're still surrounded by energy drains, okay? So he needs to clear blocks about thinking that coming together with the feminine is going to end up being the Knight of Wands, offering a new life to the journey, but then falling short of their expectations or your own expectations. Dreams, healing, and insecurities, manipulations all come up here to clear. Healing, financial discipline, and communication came up for the masculine, but even more so was nothing. It's like it's graduation. Soulmates worried about falling short of each other's expectations. There's a new life of awakening past self-doubt, reaping karmic rewards. So the karmic may be reaping rewards from the masculine, him finally just conceding to whatever she wants to get out of a draining situation. No longer jealous with money. Now the karmic's happy, she's got what she wanted. The worst is over of stress and shame. A new life, but impatient, or no patience, or no, not working. The emperor ends the war, lays down the sword after the war's looting. Needing courage to love and receive attention, allowing the flame to shine and burn bright. Independence of divorce or spiritual divine feminine, expressing passionate feelings and telling it as it is. The masculine frustrated, uninspired, in need of receiving more love by recovering victim, coming together to create and build a new home in the sun and expose, open to all. Be happy, wild, naked, and free. So dumping the 7-step program, just purging everything at once, the worst over, independent divine feminine makes him happy. The karmic doing her own thing and gets the car. 1235 is the hangman, and the 35 of the wounded warrior, which also comes up as Mary Magdalene energy. The divine masculine and divine feminine hearing the call in the aftermath of knowing about their abilities. The students of the Queen of Pentacles reversed and the Knight of Wands reversed, willing to lose everything for love. And in nothingness, the divine feminine energy, there is everythingness, the union. The alchemy card with crystals and grid work. for a new life. Just give me 1 second. I have to figure out what I was trying to write here. The union. So working with the crystals and the grid work now for the masculine and the feminine together and coming into union for a new life, the diamond in the rough. Impatient for love and attention, the masculine. So Atlas comes up as the Queen of Cups, ended the pain by letting go of their wounds and emotional attachments that no longer serve in the aftermath of destruction, war, death, and instability in order to end her own pain, and being knowing, challenged by abilities, but working to align, sovereign and connected to the Queen of Pentacles affection and happy family, or the karmic energies as well, incorporating one big happy family in truth and love. Karmic may be judgmental and falling short of her own expectations, of her expectations of other people, but a new life for all. The past returns in knowing and choosing left for the masculine to another world with the sealed divine feminine, that the worst is over of pain, not settling, starting over in love, after no love offer, finding peace with justice and or Libra energies, paying out debts, settling out, impatient in the aftermath of walking away and within, and dumping all their attachments. Okay, so that's what's coming up for the masculine today. The past returns to bring peace, knowing justice, choosing not to share while divine feminine's world was upside down and the divine feminine impatient until the worst was over in the aftermath, not settling for no love in the life of the masculine and walking away to dump all their old attachments. So it's kind of like a sidebar of what was going on within the masculine. All right, so that was the divine masculine read. I'm going to go over to the 12 signs that I pulled for you. And I'm going to, I think I'm going to clarify that for you as well. So just give me a second to pick up the cards here. Okay. So happy Lionsgate, you guys. This is, remember, you know, that I'd reported the Lionsgate was about the, you know, the wild, oh, and Arabian Nights came up too. I'll get that to you in just a second. But that, you know, like the wild Arabian horses, you know, how difficult it is to tame a wild horse, but, you know, the horse tamer just always stays neutral until the horse gets acclimated to their energies and calms down. So they're like in the cage, in the gate, until they learn to calm down completely. And then once they've tamed their inner beast, then the gates open, which is today, Lionsgate. Okay? The 4-year graduation is what I'm getting. Okay? And that's why that graduation came up for me. But I heard that actually come up after I told you guys about that. I heard someone else reporting something about ovation, standing ovation. So that was kind of interesting. All right, so I have my clarifying cards, and I'm going to show you the ones I pulled. All right, so let's turn this a bit, pull it over so you can see, plug it back in so I don't lose power. All right, so we have the I have to get this acclimated, right? I don't know how well you're going to be able to see, but let's see what we can do. I'll show you the cards. Okay. So the top cards here, we have the Queen of Wands for fire. This is fire, earth, air, and water. So it starts at Aries. Well, these are the underlying energies. So this is the bottom of the deck, and the ones under the bottom of the deck. So this is Aries, and they go across until you get to Pisces here. And then I pulled a couple extra cards as well, okay? This was at the bottom of the deck, okay? So that's about the 5D connection between the masculine and the feminine. And so the fire signs led with the Queen of Wands, okay? So, but she's upright there. And then the earth signs with the Four of Wands, the air signs with the Justice card reversed, okay? So injustice there. or it could just be some imbalance, right? Because it's truth and balance. So there may be some stuff that still needs to be worked out. And then water signs had the 8 of Wands, which is that expression of feelings or passionate communications, heated exchange, the arrows of love, all of that energy there. So starting with Aries there, we have the Lovers reversed here for Aries. Okay, so let's see why the Lovers are reversed for Aries. And we have the Queen of Wands right above that. But we also have here for Sagittarius the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles for Leo, upright. And I'd done this earlier. The King of Pentacles had come up over in Scorpio, so there may be, they may have Leo and Scorpio in their chart. Or not, and he was coming up as Capricorn as well. So there's definitely a connection between Capricorn, Leo, and Scorpio. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles reversed here as well with Sagittarius, and that can definitely represent the karmic energies with the Queen of Wands. So let's see what Aries has to say. Aries, August 8th, Lionsgate, 2019. Okay, so Aries has the King of Swords and the 5 of Wands. So it's either just competition, whether the King of Swords is Aries and the Aries person dealing with the King of Swords in a competition or a fight, can be either one. So they're still kind of in the midst, but the King of Swords is upright, which is really good. That could be, you know, with the Lovers reversed, it could be breaking up with someone and having a fight, but now he's in his truth. But the Lovers doesn't have to be lovers. It can be just lack of affection for people you work with or people you live with, you know, or maybe your kids are being mean to you. So it can be lack of affection of anything, but specifically for the twins, it could definitely be a breakup with a fight there. But it's great because the King of Swords is upright, and he's reversed a lot, so that's good. So then we have Taurus next to it. Let's go the fire signs first, since we're doing fire, with the Queen of Wands at the top. So the King of Pentacles is Leo, and let's see what's coming up with Leo here. All right, so we have, this has to do with de-stressing, so decompressing, with full moon type energy. So even though we're at the half moon because of Lionsgate, there may be more energy than usual. So it's saying it may feel like a full moon and people are getting stressed out because this is definitely like a purging card, the purging cycles. Not able to sleep at night, or, you know, headaches, that kind of thing. So the King of Pentacles, though, you know, that's really positive. You know, he's someone who takes care of other people. He's responsible and he's upright. Leo energies. So it's Leo, which is normally fire, showing his more practical side right now under these energies because he's feeling stressed out, especially at nighttime. That's Leo. So let's see what else comes up for them. But let's go Sagittarius with the Queen of Pentacles reversed. Everyone take a deep breath. A lot of stress in the air today. Queen of Pentacles reversed. Okay. There you go. Confirm that it's Sagittarius. That's definitely Queen of Wands energy. The Queen of Pentacles reversed. So that's confirming in the read that the Queen of Pentacles reversed is that Sagittarius, and even can be Sag or Leo energy. Okay, Aries wasn't coming up so much for the feminine, so that's more about Sagittarius specifically, but could be Leo as well. So that comes up as the Queen of Wands reversed. She's either ungrounded or all about money or losing money, right? But we have the Four of Cups reversed, which has to do with no longer grounding and integrating, no longer bored, because now she's got stuff to worry about. She needs to settle out. She's no longer settling in love and needing to start over, which means now she needs to start saving her money or earning money or just not being ungrounded, okay? All right, so this is, I'm not going to put this down because I don't want to take up too much space on the board there, but the Fool reverse, so this is someone being foolish with their money. So that's Sagittarius, okay? And it's definitely more feminine than masculine. Leo is coming up more masculine end of it, and they could be partners, Leo and Sag, and doesn't have to be their sun sign. So then let's go with so we got that for the fire signs. It's about breakups and dealing with the financial aspect of breakups, really, okay? So even the ones who are fine financially are stressing out because of the energies. And it could be this could be a guy three situation, King of Swords, King of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles reversed, because they could be a couple. So the Queen of Swords or the King of Swords may have broken up this couple. Okay, so let's see with the Queen of Wands also. I want to clarify her too for all the fire signs. All right, so this is what the fire signs get. All right, so that's about choosing a path and the Emperor out of control. So they could be choosing a path away from a controlling Emperor or losing control and ego death. Okay? But this is also, this card is choosing left for me, which is the Divine Feminine, the new. Okay? So that's her, the Queen of Wands, leaving a Divine Masculine, or whoever they're with, if it's a fire sign, Divine Feminine, leaving her karmic to choose the new path of the twins. Okay? And this wants to come out too, because there's definitely been a war. Okay? But standing in their truth, if people want to walk away, it's not like they're being aggressive now. They're standing back. They may still be a little bit in fear because they feel like they need to stand in their truth as opposed to being open with love, but allowing people to go away if they don't resonate with them. Or it could be the Queen of Wands, you know, still wanting to battle, but choosing her own path, her own way, without a man perhaps even. Okay. All right, so let's go to the earth signs. We have the Four of Wands up top, which definitely can be union energy. It could just have to do with a home and moving. The Queen of Wands may be in the home, and a masculine may need to leave if there's breakups there with the fire signs. But this is for all the earth signs getting healing, and there may be a lack of love, okay? So healing a lack of love. So this upright would be giving love to everyone. Reverse could be giving love to no one, right? So whether giving or getting love, it's the earth signs lacking that and healing from not having it, okay? Or even could be healing from jealousy and insincerity issues as well. So we have Taurus has the Ace of Cups reversed. So let's see what comes up for Taurus here. I just relaxed a lot. So this breakup was good for this Taurus here. All right, so we have the King of Wands and the Strength reversed. So then this is about ego death, because in becoming weak, he finds his strength. You see that? And being dumped or dumping someone or feeling overwhelmed, but the Ace of Cups reversed can also be a big cry. So it could be releasing, feeling weak, right? Because the men aren't supposed to cry. But in doing that, the King of Wands finds his power, and the Queen of Wands is over there on the feminine side. So this is him in the earth column, so he could definitely be represented here since he's the King of Wands. He could be the King of Pentacles as well. All right, there you go. Okay, so the King of Wands can be the King of Pentacles as well, or it could be a brother. Okay, but these are all coming up, and this is the Queen of Pentacles talking about the wealth of the family, which I just finished talking about. So, okay, and then being drained, having to do with, you know, if this drained, it means it's not loving energy. It's, you know, energy vampire energies, right? Love doesn't drain, fear drains. Okay, so that is Taurus. So actually the Ace of Cups reversed for Taurus is good at this point. Feeling weak or feeling a lack of courage is ego death, and then helping him become his true authentic self, the man of passion. So for Virgo, we have the High Priestess coming up. So we have the World reversed and the Ten of Swords reversed. So this is just what I explained in the read. The bliss is when these 10 swords fall out of the back. The release of the pain is where the most bliss is, right? So you can't experience the bliss without the thorn, the third, okay? Here's the this could just be the Divine Feminine in another world because she's feeling bliss, okay? It also can be just the very end before the world or the cycle completes, or someone has completed their cycle by letting all this out, and now it's turned around again to start a new cycle. Okay, that's Virgo. And it's the High Priestess in their own knowing and their psychic abilities, right? Being quiet and to themselves, storing their energy. Can be all of those things. But also be careful about any foolish behavior. Okay, don't go back into the pain, but allow yourself to fall. That's always the case. This is bringing down Taurus into Virgo, right? Because he allowed himself to fall, allowed the ego death. You fall into peace. Okay, so that's perfect. And then right after that, we have the Justice card, all right? And that's where justice is found, by happiness, bliss. Okay? But there may be some impatience going on today as well. That's why you're feeling a lot of stress with your masculines. So for Capricorn, we have the Wheel of Fortune. What does that bring for us here? Now remember, all three of the earth signs could have union energies coming in, because we have the Four of Wands up there, but it also could have to do with staying in a move or moving in a split, okay? So for Capricorn, we have the Wheel of Fortune upside down, although it's right side up here. So it could be the Capricorn going back and forth about a split, because that's the Lover's reverse, and then we have dropping the burdens, okay? So they may be afraid to keep this up and lighten the load by connecting to the higher self, and so then they go back to dropping the 3D burdens and going back to the old, right? There's fear here. So it's like vacillating, whereas here is good, right? Because it's the Wheel of Fortune sending them into a good direction, right? Going towards their divine feminine. And then here is, you know, vacillating and going back, okay? Having broken up with someone and then being scared and wanting to go back and wanting to drop the burdens and have it be easy again instead of having to go through the work of changing their life, okay? So that's coming up for Capricorn. Allow the wheel to turn, you know? Don't go into fear. Fear is not love. Okay, and there's frustration here too, because the Ace of Wands is coming up reversed. All right, let's see for air signs. What does Justice say at the top? Justice reversed. Why are the air signs with Justice reversed? Okay. So for air signs, we have Impatience, which is typical of air signs. I know both of my parents are air sign Geminis, okay? There's a lot of impatience with air signs because they're more in their heads, in their minds. So the Tower is reversed in the aftermath of whether this is gossip and overindulgences, not being social, not being joyous, or third-party situations, whatever it is, the aftermath of any of these things, there's impatience for the masculine. And that can be for the feminine as well, you know, because we all have the masculine within us. The Gemini, let's see. 9 of Cups is Gemini. Okay, so for Gemini, we have Hierophant reversed and then the 8 of Wands, which is, this could be a divorce. This could be just spirituality, thinking outside the box, being too kind, right? Over kindness. But this is expressing feelings back and forth. So this is very positive for me. I'm not getting any negative over kindness feeling, especially with the 9 of Cups. This is getting your wish in the spiritual realms and arrows of love. So somebody maybe, the Justice upright, may be just needing to wait for the for any court settlement or divorce case to be done, because this is reversed. This is a divorce. So Gemini may be getting their wish, but the Justice card just has to be upright, okay? So for Libras, next is the Devil card, and I actually pulled cards before this, and Devil came up twice for Libra, and that can just represent a Capricorn, so that can represent the King of Wands and the King of Pentacles, all the divine masculine. Right, he's getting the 3 of Pentacles reversed and the King of Cups, so here we have the 4th King for him. Here we missed Swords, Wands, Pentacles, yeah. So the masculine has all 4 kings represented now as possibly the same person, so it can connect to all of you since all 4 signs came up, but also all about the divine masculines. But this is about a third party through work, or not getting along at work, or leaving a work situation, or maybe problems within the work environment. But all is well, because all is love. All right? This is someone who's not worried about it, which is great. That's definitely, I'm not getting Devil energy because of the King of Cups upright. I'm getting that this is Capricorn. He's in his power. He has things under control as far as responsibility to others, but he's also in his knowing and his power. It's really powerful today, actually. Okay, letting go in order to repair things. And a message of love. Okay? So it could be implementing a plan at this moment as well. But again, the Justice card, that's the only, on the air signs, is the Justice card reversed. So that needs to be upright. It's like they got it all together. They just need like any justice things finalized as far as paperwork and stuff. That's what I'm getting. And then we have Aquarius has the Sun upright. So what's up for Aquarius? An exposure, happiness, childlike behavior. All right, so for Aquarius, we're getting these as well. So there may be a message of love. So someone might get some good news. And then implementing change, right? Some kind of plan or strategizing a new plan. But this is deliberations. May have to implement a plan about prior poor decisions, okay? So taking one step at a time, slowly, with just a little bit of love or friendship at first, and implement a financial plan without judgment to see how it works first, so until a final decision is made. So may want to test the waters of a relationship or a connection before actually making anything permanent. But there's a lot of happiness and exposure there. That's really beautiful for Aquarius. But be careful about the Judgment card reversed, right? Because that may be something not in your favor. But actually something not going in your favor may have been a blessing in disguise, right? Exposing it all and releasing you to actually be able to open your heart. Or that could be a child of yours, actually. So Aquarius could be all about their children right now. All right, let's go to the top of the water column. We have the Eight of Wands, which was with Gemini. So Gemini is connected to the water signs there. The expressing your passionate feelings, a heated exchange. Okay, arrows of love. So what is it about water signs today for August 8th, Lionsgate? Right, so again we have the Fool reversed, allowing yourself to fall. Can be foolish things as well, but we have very positive energy there. Falling into peace and justice for all. That's beautiful for the water signs. Okay, so then we have the Hierophant upright there, whereas the Hierophant was reversed over here. So they're very much connected to to Gemini there. Gemini is very connected to Cancer and to water signs in general. And you see that Pisces is connected up here as well to the rest of the water signs. Okay, so for Cancer and the Hierophant, why? But see, Hierophant, Cancer's Hierophant's upright, Gemini's Hierophant's reversed. So for Cancer, we have the Devil reversed, whereas Libra has the Devil upright. So they could be like the other person in the situation, okay? So the Devil reversed is letting go of toxicity, but it can be the chaos right before the letting go as well. Okay, there can still be some chaos since it's coming up. In the past, returning or dealing with a negative past, dealing with children who are difficult, detoxing, someone might be in rehab, and then being in your knowing or pretending not to see. Okay, but we're detoxing these energies. So this is people learning to see without getting the information through their own intuition. Okay, so this is on Cancer energies, and this can have to do with any kind of establishment, not just marriage, but any kind of tradition, patriarchy, establishment, religion, religious leader. Detoxing a negative past, so it could be a religion actually detoxing their negative past today, and being in their knowing, no longer pretending not to see. Having open communications and feelings with the Eight of Wands at the top, okay? And then we have, and also, the Hierophant can represent getting married, but I'm not getting those energies today in those clarifiers. It doesn't mean it won't happen. But there definitely may be a connection between two people who are connected between Gemini and Cancer. One doesn't want to be married and one does. All right, so then we have Scorpio as the Ace of Swords, Excalibur upright, the truth, triumph, in expressing their feelings, right? They may have triumphed in learning to express their feelings, for the Divine Masculine especially. And we have Scorpio here as the Hermit, and maybe playing hardball with somebody, right? Coming into their power, preparing for a new life, magnetizing their own gold coin or saving up some money for a new life. All right, but coming into their light. They've been hermiting and finding wisdom before starting a new adventure, but in their truth, which is really beautiful. Scorpio, it's very powerful. See, they're in their power. Congratulations, Scorpio. You did a great job. Then we have Pisces, which is the Six of Swords, right? Going to calmer waters, finding peace. Okay, and it's all about thoughts and words, because it's swords. A peaceful place in your mind, Pisces. Okay, so very much energy. My daughter comes up, and my sister both come up as the Queen of Wands all the time. So this is very much of them upright energy, right? Communicating and being their creative, expressive self, okay, in a very positive way, and finding peace, which is very empowering. That's great. So we have the Queen of Swords also connected to the fire signs. So fire is connected to Pisces. And Pisces is the end of the cycle. It's very much about the dream weavers, right? Because Aquarius have the ideas, but the Pisces are the ones who bring it together. They're the ones who manifest. Okay, so they're master manifestors. So it's like, and this can represent any karmics, right? Whether it's the feminine's karmics or the masculine's karmics, learning to find peace within themselves and want for themselves, as opposed to taking care of the family or whatever the situation is, any sneakiness or risky behavior, okay, ignoring it. It's like if you put this next to the page, all right, it's like this. Like she's telling him off, and if it's over here, sorry, I don't know if you can see it. All right, the Queen of Wands ignoring this person, wanting to get away or bring something back to her, and over here, they're telling him off, you know, go away, we don't need you. We know who we are. Okay, that can be an opportunist in the Pisces environment. And it's funny because I told my daughter just went to the gym, and I just pulled cards for before this, and Pisces was getting the Wheel of Fortune at that time with the Knight of Cups. So I was like, you're going to the gym, and watch out for someone, because then the moon reverse came up. So someone may offer you some love, but they're deceptive and they may just want sex. So Pisces, beware of that. There could be an opportunist around you. Okay? Not emotional fulfillment. Okay? So that's Pisces. And let's just, these last 4 cards I pulled is the 3 of Wands reverse, which is looking back or going back to the past. Then the 8 of Swords reverse, which is release from your own inner prison, or literally someone released from prison. This applies to all signs. Then we have the Chariot, bold, upright, going where no man has gone before, ascending, but powerfully moving or traveling. And then the final card was the 2 of Wands reverse, which is no options. There is only one option. So we had both needing to go back to figure out there are no options. There's only one choice, and that's emotional happiness. It's just the King of Wands may be a little bit tired right now. That's all I'm getting from that. I'm not getting any negative anger there. Just tired. And the King of Wands was upright right here, okay? And this is more recent, so he's upright now. So that's really positive here. You know, if you have the King of Wands, that's beautiful. Okay, finding emotional fulfillment, making everybody happy, just like the Divine Masculine really wants it to be. And as we end up, the clarification deck ends on the 10 of Pentacles, which is the ultimate family. So this is like the family of the twins, okay? Your community, the abundance that you all hold. And don't forget it, it's 118, perfect. With the 8. So you guys, drink your water, get your rest. You know the drill. Be in joy and rise and be love. Okay? Bye.